guys! So I've been keeping a bullet journal now for the past 3 years, and I think I finally figured out a layout that works for me in my high school classes. So I thought I'd put my unhealthy obsession with stationery to use and show you guys how I set up my bullet journal. I'm not the greatest at calligraphy or anything, so this isn't going to be perfect, and it's not going to be like one of those really aesthetic videos that you might see on YouTube. But I think I've come up with a practical layout that works out for me, so I wanted to share it with you guys. First and foremost, because I can't draw a straight line to save my life, a ruler is something I just really need. To write, I'm going to be using my black G2 pen. And to add color and highlight, I'm going to be using some basic Crayola markers and some Tombow pens. So my bullet journal setup is split into two really basic parts, a monthly spread and a weekly spread. To start off, I'm going to use a pencil to carefully sketch out my monthly calendar, and I'm also going to keep an eraser on standby for when I inevitably screw up. So my monthly setup is really simple. I use 2 pages to draw out my month and leave some room on the right side to add 2 columns. I remember when I first started bullet journaling a couple years ago, I used to cram an entire month onto just 1 page, and it would turn out to be like a really tiny little calendar that I couldn't fit anything onto. So then I figured it'd probably be better to spread it out over 2 pages. Now that I've hopefully finished making the last of my mistakes, I'm going to use my pen to write in all the days of the week and add 2 columns on the right, which I'll be labeling events, such as birthdays, and exams, because I'm still in school and I still have to deal with those oh so wonderful AP exams. Now I'm tracing the pencil in black ink and I'm writing in all the dates. It's time for some color! I'm going to use a blue marker to write the word May in all capital letters, which are very unevenly spaced out, and then I'm going in with my black pen and adding some dimension using some below average cursive. Whenever I think of the month of May, I always think of flowers. Maybe it's because ever since I was little, I was told, the saying, April showers bring May flowers, but I don't really know, so I'm just gonna decorate this with whatever makes me think of May. Also, I like highlighting random things like the boxes because it adds more color and dimension. I don't really have a plan or idea for decorating my journal. I kind of just do whatever I feel like doing and pray that it turns out okay. Now that I'm done with the spread, I'm going to fill in the calendar by writing in exams, birthdays, and other important dates. Alright, moving on to the weekly spread. I set this up based on day and class. So each row across is for a day in the week, and each column down is for one of my classes. Because I've had the same weekly spread for the entire year, I'm just about comfortable enough to go in with my black pen. Okay, here's me panicking for a whole minute about writing the header before I actually go for it, because once I mess up, there's no going back. I tried to write it in a pretty loopy font, but it didn't really turn out the best. I drew in a couple of leaves and then used my pink Tombow pen to write in the days of the week. So I always start the week with the first official week of the month. Since the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd of May are the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the last week of April respectively, I wrote those into last week's April spread, and I'm starting this week with the first Monday of the month, which is the 4th. I know that's super confusing, but I hope that made sense. After finishing my rows, I'm going to label my columns. I'm using that same pink Tombow pen to highlight my headings. So the first big column is for anything that I have to get done in the day, or like a to-do list. This column is generally not school related. The next 5 correspond directly with my classes. So first I have AP Calc, then AP Gov, then Astronomy, then a writing class, and finally AP French. Even though we're currently doing school under this incredibly practical e-learning or virtual learning or whatever your school's calling it, I still find this layout really helpful because I can easily write in my assignments and quickly access them and figure out when things are due. I know that many people like to make a habit tracker page where they track their daily habits. I used to have a separate page just for this, but recently I've been making a weekly habit tracker and I think it's a lot more effective. Every time I open my journal to write something in or check something off, I'm forced to see the daily activities I have to complete, so it's a lot easier for me to get them done. It's also nice to not have to flip through pages every day and just have everything I need in one place. I'm going to create a little section under my habit tracker to keep track of all the classes that I teach. I'm going to leave the empty space that I have to write down one positive event that happened during the course of the week. I find it incredibly important to count my blessings because it's so easy to sit around and complain about things, especially right now when the world seems to be suffering. But I think it takes a little bit more willpower to find things that you're grateful for and things that you've been blessed with. And that, friends, is as complex as my bullet journal gets. It is such a misconception that bullet journaling is something that will take you hours of time. I found that keeping your layout really simple and very practical is the key to making the most out of it. I think a lot of people get caught up and spend an eternity on trying to make the journal as aesthetic as possible, which leads them to hating the process and stressing themselves out. Really, it's more about simplicity and effectiveness. The whole point of the journal is to help you organize anything in your life that needs organization. The very, very last thing I have left to do is to write in some important events coming up. So for me, that means exams, birthdays, college stuff, things like that. And here is my final flip through. And there you go, that was my bullet journal. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me ramble for the past 10-ish minutes about stationery and organization, but let me know if you guys want me to do this more regularly and maybe give you an update on where I am with the bullet journal and what I've changed. But yeah, let me know if you want me to do this more regularly and maybe give you an update on what I've changed, whether I've changed my format or anything like that. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and I will see you all next time. Bye!